end of the week. We're on your side with how warm it got today and if we broke or tied any records.
Plus, with the severe threat ramping up across the Midwest, we bring you the weather extra on the severe outbreak and what we can expect in our neck of the woods as we prepare for Sunday's First Alert Weather Day.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Well, welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan and meteorologist Tania Michelle. It feels like every week, Tania, we're talking about a First Alert Weather Day.
I know, literally every weekend too.
Yeah, yes.
Or the start of the week. It's either Sunday or Monday.
Right,
Sunday
exactly.
Or Monday.
It's just...
It's not cool.
Yeah, what about a Wednesday? You know, like, come on during a Wednesday.
Oh, you trying to throw it on me now.
I know. I'm like, what?
No.
I'm a little tired.
But hey, listen, I mean, the severe storms are not backing off, but neither is the heat. It's been so warm today. People said, Lauren, it felt like summer.
You sure did. Did you get those summer vibes, Tania?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. The breeze felt good, though. Let's talk about the next big thing. We'll talk more about those winds in just a second. But yes, the next big thing is really that fact that we're going to see the chance for severe storms returning to our forecast heading into your Sunday. That's the second half of your weekend, April the 6th. What time period? Well, we're looking after midnight till about lunchtime Sunday. And then the second half of your Sunday, we'll hopefully see some improvements. And hopefully it's a fast moving system. But this is what we're tracking here. Notice it's going to be a front that moves through. We're finally getting those storms across our area, which are really impacting areas north and west today and through much of this week. That high pressure is really preventing any storms from impacting us until the weekend, and that's why we've declared and went ahead and declared Sunday a First Alert Weather Day for the threat of strong and severe storms. Could we see damaging winds? Possibly. Hail? Also, yeah, that too. And maybe even a tornado. So make sure you're staying weather aware and alert throughout the next several days and as we approach the weekend. This front will move through again, pretty much out of here around lunchtime Sunday is what we're expecting. And then things will hopefully get a lot quieter, but also cooler as part of the next big thing. Colder air filters in behind that front. But right now, what are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing with those winds. It's super windy out there. It kind of feels good though, I'm not gonna lie. It feels great for your evening. So if you want to get a nice walk in tonight, a good time to do that. Just keep those outdoor objects nice and secure because hey, it's super breezy out there. The things are blowing all over the place. Keep in mind, the wind is also spreading that pollen too. So if you have allergies, you might just want to lay low and stay inside for this evening. But that wind advisory is in effect now through 1 a.m. Thursday with those winds continuing out the south about 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained and gusts up to about 40. So again, keep those outdoor objects secure. You can see what areas are the windiest. Well, look at areas west of I-65. This is the closer you get to that severe storm system that's further north and west of our state. But those winds are still gusting up above 30 miles per hour for parts of Tuscaloosa, Pickens, Fayette there, Lamar County, all the way down to Greene and Hale County. Now we're still near record-breaking highs again tomorrow. It's going to be a very beautiful day with highs in the upper 80s. A passing shower, isolated storm still cannot be completely ruled out. But here's what's next. More record-breaking high temperatures now through Saturday. A few showers throughout this week. I mentioned an isolated shower, scattered shower, isolated storm, just because a little moisture can still build in. We're still seeing a lot of cloud coverage, but the big day that we're tracking wet weather is our First Alert Weather Day Sunday, where we can see severe storms returning to our area. But right now, I want to send it over to meteorologist Lauren Linehan, who has an update on rainfall in the Midwest.
Hey, Tania. Yeah, we are tracking not just the potential for severe weather, but this is going to be followed by a significant flooding event across the Midwest and into the Mid-South. So right now, the radar is very active. First Alert AccuTrack off to our northwest showing multiple tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. This is all ahead of a very strong cold front that's moving in, and this front is actually going to stall. So that's a problem. When you have a front stalling, sometimes that can lead to a risk for some significant flooding. And so that's what we're going to be seeing taking place across the Mid-South into the Midwest. This is looking at rainfall totals through the end of the weekend. And so look what is happening here just over a short period of time over a couple of days. So this is through Sunday at 9 a.m., even before Sunday at 9 a.m., where you see that bright white showing up there on the map. That is indicating over a foot of rain has fallen from places like Arkansas into parts of Missouri, western Tennessee, parts of western Kentucky, and into southern Illinois and Indiana. And that swath of of rain, of that heavy rainfall, extends all the way from East Texas all the way up into parts of the Northeast. So this is a very potent system that's moving through. And this comes as that same storm system is bringing dangerous severe weather, also brought storms across parts of Oklahoma yesterday. A reported tornado brought damage to the town of Owasso, leaving a trail of destruction. You can see the damage left to homes and other structures. Electric poles were also brought down by those damaging winds. And a similar situation happening across Pilot Grove, Missouri. Check out this video of damage after Missouri State Highway Patrol responded to reports of an overturned car and damaged building. Again, this storm system is expected to bring that dangerous severe weather outbreak to the lower Mississippi Valley all the way into the lower Ohio River Valley into tonight. And Tania, what about that record-breaking heat we've been seeing?
Well, Lauren, let's pull it up right here. We are tracking record-breaking highs over really the next couple of days. I want to pull up this graphic behind me so that you can see what areas broke records or tied a record for today. Starting off with Birmingham, 86 degrees, but we actually beat the record by 1 degree. We're going to pull up that other graphic here to show you which areas. Okay, boom, there we go. So 86 was our record high back in 2012. 87 is what we reached today. So we beat it by 1 degree, okay? Pretty cool, right? But other areas tied, got a little close. I think Birmingham did the best today, but that's okay. Tuscaloosa, you guys tied from back in 2006. That's April 2nd, years ago. It's not that far ago, but 2006, 88 degrees. Now this one, long ago, Anniston, 87, back in 1978, tying that record. So hey, we are on track for some very warm conditions, but not just today, again tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. But meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now with how warm we're expecting it to get over the coming days and that heat risk that could come as we experience these high temperatures.
Well, I know it's early April, but it feels more like summertime around here. This morning, just unusually warm. We had clouds, southerly flow, and this morning, Birmingham only dropped down to 68 degrees and Tuscaloosa only dropped down to 71. These are temperatures you would see in the middle of summertime. And what makes it significant, we may have broke some records. Now, we have to wait till midnight till it's official, so these are preliminary numbers, but we could have broke the record daily high minimum. So that means the warmest low temperature for the day. So the old record set back on April 2nd was 67 degrees in Birmingham, and that was set last year. How about that? We could go back to back breaking records here in Birmingham. And then Tuscaloosa, your record was 66 degrees back in 1982. So the odds are very likely you're going to break that record because you did have to drop a good bit before midnight tonight. I just don't see that happening in this particular environment with all that southerly wind and all the clouds in place. Temperatures, as you know, very warm, well above average, could be breaking some record highs in the upper 80s. And here's the record highs for tomorrow. Birmingham, it's 87 set back in 1999. 86 is the record high for Tuscaloosa tomorrow, set back in 2018. And in Anniston, 89 and set back in 1999 as well. So I really think Tuscaloosa will easily break that record tomorrow. And then as we go into your Friday, once again, the average high is 72, and these are the record highs: 88 in Birmingham in 1934, 87 in Tuscaloosa, set back not too long ago, a few years ago, and then Anniston, 86, set back in 1969. So here's our heat risk for tomorrow. Normally we would not be showing this until summertime, but notice in yellow, minor. You start seeing those oranges, moderate. So sometimes we're just not acclimated to heat this early in the season, so the heat can get to you even more, even though it won't be that extreme. So if you have to work outdoors over the next several days, take a few breaks, stay hydrated if you can. The heat risk as we go into Friday, notice starting to see a few more spots in orange, especially in Mississippi, where there's a moderate risk for heat, and that could cause some issues if you're working outside doing any strenuous outdoor activities. So we're going to go from summer-like heat to almost winter-like conditions next week with some chilly temperatures. So get ready for that roller coaster ride. It is April here in the South.
Come on, Lauren. Working at the car wash. Hey! We are talking about that car wash forecast because, hey, listen, this week you'll have some time to get those cars clean. And they should be pretty clean for a couple of days. I mean, the pollen is nothing to play with, but hey, if you have a garage, you're okay. But here we are looking at that car wash forecast. If you want to get your car washed tomorrow, I'm giving you that green light. We're watching dry conditions, still a little breezy out there, so the pollen will be a problem and may get right back on your car as soon as you get it clean. But temperature still near record breaking. We're talking about highs in the mid to upper 80s again. And your weekend looks great. Saturday, another day that we could break some afternoon highs, but maybe head outdoors before that next big thing, those storms Sunday. Druid City Festival is out in Tuscaloosa from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Windy conditions at night, but beautiful conditions throughout the day and catching a little sunshine too. We'll have more on First Alert Weather Day Sunday coming up right here in a couple of minutes. Lauren?
Thanks, Tania. And hey, if you have already gotten off work and about to go take the dog on a walk, yes, it's warm and it's muggy outside, but fortunately, we're not at that time of year yet where we have to be worried about the pet's paws burning on the pavement. Bit of a tongue twister there. So the pavement not too big of an issue, but it is windy. Winds have been coming in out of the south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Could still see those gusty winds tonight. Even by 8 o'clock, still holding on to 80 degrees. So it's certainly humid outside. But with that in mind, today is National Walking Day, an initiative from the American Heart Association. I had the chance to speak with Kim Baldwin, Vice President of Health Strategies at the American Heart Association, about the importance of today and how you can help yourself to get that walk in each day.
So, Kim, can you tell us about some of the benefits of walking?
Absolutely. So, National Walking Day is a time to really celebrate the fact that walking helps to improve our mood and improve our cardiovascular health. So, we want to encourage everybody to get out and take a walk.
So, being National Walking Day, I know some people are like, oh, well, I feel like I should run. Maybe that will help my heart more. Personally, I know my knees and feet, running doesn't work that well for me. So, why is walking just as good for you as something like running?
Same, right? So, walking helps us to increase our heart rate, which helps us to get that exercise level of our heart, helps to get those good endorphins going. So, it also helps to improve our mood. We know that less than half of adults in the U.S. are actually getting the recommended amount of exercise for heart health. And so we want to make sure that we are encouraging people to take small steps to change that, whether that means you're walking initially just for a few minutes at a time, or you're going full force and you're running every day. We want to make sure that everybody learns that just these small steps can really add up to big changes for our health.
So I know this time of the year, it being spring. Well, first of all, this week here in Alabama is unusually warm and humid for us. So people will be like, oh, the humidity, I'm not dealing with that. Or this time of the year, it may be pollen. How can people counteract those outdoor elements?
Absolutely. So definitely walking earlier or later in the day can help alleviate some of that. Taking your allergy medication, maybe walking after we've had some of these unexpected showers can kind of help with that. I know I deal with allergies, so I'm right there with you. And when I do take a walk outside, I actually took a walking meeting this morning. I took a hair scrunchie, right? Because my hair got huge. And so it's one of the things you do to just kind of prep. We know that it's so important for us to get our bodies moving. It helps with our cardiovascular health and our mental health. And so it's not something that we can really skip.
And so what if people, let's say they have an office job, they're sitting in front of a computer all day, and maybe people just have really busy schedules. People have lives, children. How can you incorporate walking? How much do we need to do? I mean, I don't think you have to be necessarily doing it for 2 hours at a time, right?
Absolutely not. We recommend between 75 minutes of vigorous activity a week or 150 minutes of moderate activity per week for most adults. And you can break that up. I know I tend to be an all or nothing type of person. If I don't have a full 30 minutes, I'll think, I'll just do it tomorrow. But think about if you had 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, if you took an extra lap when you go get the mail, if you take 15 minutes of your lunch break to walk with a colleague or walk with your kids when they get out of school. There's always ways for us to add in those little bits of physical activity. I learned recently that vacuuming for about 30 minutes burns the same amount of calories as if you were to actually walk a mile. So getting in that physical activity is a lot easier than we sometimes think, and we don't have to have that all or nothing mentality.
A live look at our First Alert sky vision and nectar this evening. We're going to give you that in just a minute, but make sure you stay tuned after Beyond the 7-Day, or after this when we go Beyond the 7-Day with Tania and Michelle, because if you like summer weather, I got some bad news for you. Not looking too great, but hey, it's feeling like summer outside right now. We're beginning to see that sun slowly making its way down below the horizon in Nectar, and it just looks more lush outside. We're beginning to get into April, seeing the benefits of those wet weather systems that we've been getting. Right now, as we look at First Alert AccuTrack, though, we had been tracking a couple of isolated thunderstorms, but as we're getting past that heat of the day, that activity is beginning to wane, so good news. But my goodness, it is still warm and humid outside. We'll still keep an eye out for an isolated severe threat in our area, but that tornado outbreak, severe weather outbreak, still ongoing off to our northwest, where you see the red polygons. Those indicate tornado warnings, and the yellow polygons are severe thunderstorm warnings. So that should stay to the northwest of us. Tomorrow morning, going to be starting off warm and humid. That bus stop forecast for the kiddos as they walk out the door. It's not going to be as windy tomorrow, but still going to be a bit of a breeze. Now, as we go throughout the day, temperatures will once again be getting near record-breaking territory. So we're talking upper 80s in the forecast, and of course with the humidity, it'll definitely feel warmer than that. But looking to this weekend, Saturday is going to be very similar to today, and Thursday and Friday. If we see a storm pop up, it's going to be to the northwest. I will say on Saturday, there's a slightly better chance we could see some more storms in northwest Alabama. So we go from near record-breaking heat, isolated storm potential on Saturday to a first alert weather day on Sunday for a more widespread impact from rain and storms and the possibility of a severe threat. So let's check it out here as we track our next big thing. Here we are late Saturday afternoon, showing that possibility of isolated storms in northwest Alabama. And then here's the main line that will be sending south and eastward on Sunday morning. So we don't want to give you exact timing just yet, but generally just know Sunday morning is when we could see the weather more active. This looks like a very similar setup to what we saw this past weekend or on Monday. I think any of this should be out of here by late Sunday afternoon. So just most of Sunday morning could be impactful. Then we go from a very warm forecast to much cooler. We're talking high temperatures falling into the 60s by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as a strong cold front comes through. And of course, that's the high temperature. Check out the low temperatures as we get into next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Much colder. We're talking 40s for Monday and Tuesday morning. And then, yes, we do have a first alert for the possibility of frost and freeze conditions on Wednesday. So don't get too ambitious in your gardens just yet. In the meantime, though, definitely feeling like summer outside. But you have to be curious when you see those temperatures getting colder. How many more cold snaps are we going to see in the forecast? So we bring in meteorologist Tania Michelle right now. Tania, is it looking cold for the long haul here?
Okay, yes, colder for sure.
Okay.
But am I seeing hard freezes? Not necessarily.
Okay. Hey, that's a step in the right
Yeah, it's a step. So I don't think we're gonna see many more hard freezes left.
Okay.
But there are some mornings I'm still seeing some upper 30s, some low
Ooh,
40s,
mercy.
where you're still gonna want to have to bring out that sweater and that jacket.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah, I
sweater.
know.
Yuck. We already got on the sleeveless dresses.
I know.
We are breaking out the
when do we bring out the sandals? God, I think we still need to wait.
I know.
I think we still need to wait. Wait a little bit. I know it's hard to figure out what to wear at this point, but just keep it in the middle, okay? Wear the sneakers, wear the flats, wear the heels, closed-toed shoes. But other than that, hold on to the sandals and keep them in your closet just a little while longer, because as you see behind me, as we look beyond the 7 days, still seeing some below average temperatures, April 10th through April the 16th. What does that mean for us, though? Well, let's take a look. Okay, much of the East Coast dealing with below average. Again, that includes us here right across central Alabama. But as we look ahead, any more freezes? Like I mentioned to Lauren, I'm not seeing any hard freezes, but some cold mornings will be impacting us, where we could see some early morning frost. And that mainly goes for areas far north central Alabama. The further south you go, of course, it's always going to be a little bit warmer. But I'm seeing low 40s. That's April the 7th. That's next week. And then beyond that, April the 8th, 41 degrees. That's in Birmingham. So keep in mind areas like Cherokee County, Marion, Winston, Coleman, you're already going to get a little bit cooler than that. So we're talking about upper 30s. Yeah. And then not even just that, I saw a few 30s there, but here we are looking at April the 10th, 43 degrees. I know. So some cold mornings on the way, milder afternoons, maybe not as warm as nearing 90 degrees. So below average temperatures will be impacting us for much of the first half of the month of April, at least. As we look at our precipitation, April 10th through April the 16th, it looks like we're going to be looking below average for rainfall. So as we zoom in here across central Alabama, that includes our area, we will see some wet weather, but drier days are on the horizon for those of you who want to still make those outdoor plans. That's that beyond the 7-day forecast. We'll continue to keep you up to date as the week progresses and as the days go by right here on Weather Extra. But as we continue to talk about the impacts of hurricanes, guess what? Well, some names have retired. The names Helene, Beryl, and Milton are among the hurricane names being retired in the wake of the 2024 hurricane season. The World Meteorological Organization Hurricane Committee retires names of storms that have been especially deadly or destructive. They do it to avoid confusion and sensitivity in future seasons. Helene was the deadliest U.S. hurricane since Katrina in 2005. And get this, it killed about 250 people. The names Brianna, Holly, and Miguel will take the newly retired names' places. I know people with the name Brianna are not happy about that. We'll be right back, though, with a final check of your weather and a look at your weather photos right after the break. I never know, is it Brianna? Okay, I got to give a big thanks to our weather watcher, Debbie Alexander.
Love her.
Lauren, she showed up at the station
Look at her.
with a lot of love.
Oh my goodness, so sweet.
Yes, a showering baby girl who's on the way. Now it's time to shower you too. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, wedding on the way.
yeah.
Lots going on here at
Ooh,
WBRC.
Yeah. We're just a little bit stressed, but you know where things are really happening right now, Tania?
Yeah, north and
See
west.
That purple polygon, that's actually where a tornado emergency is in place from a large wedge tornado. Tania will continue to track the storms tonight. Coming up at 9.
Please.
Do you have Super 7 Day pulled up?
I think Super 7 Days pulled up. Nope. No, I don't think it is. Yeah, you can pull up yours. Man, I was at the mall, and this one lady came up to me, and she was like, I'm glad I don't work at WBRC. You either end up pregnant or married.